Hi, this is Laura from the Woody the Campervan gang, either a third or a half if you include the dog, and this is our second video going across Europe in our campervan. In this section we are going from Velbert to Cologne to Landstein, so staying within Germany. Sometimes we like to set ourselves a little side quest for our holidays, just a little different way of taking in the sights, going places you might not normally consider going otherwise. So in this one we wanted to go to the places that we are twinned with. So we both grew up in a similar area around Kettering in Northamptonshire, which is twinned with Landstein. And we also currently live in a small village just outside of Corby, which is twinned with Velbert in Germany as well. So seemed like a good side quest for a couple of days to just go and check them out, see what they're like, take some photos of some signs obviously. So unless you are aware of these places in Kettering or these places in Corby, this might not mean as much to you, but please join us anyway for the journey, because it's, it's a good one and it's interesting just to go to places perhaps not on your main trek. So I hope you enjoy it, yeah, and see how we got on. So after a little lie-in for me, it was time to pack up at our Amsterdam campsite and head off towards Velbert. So it's a bit of a long way, a long trek for us that day, lots of motorways, so we definitely needed a little stop at that little to get some pastries in on the way. A little side note that we thought to mention is we found that we had so little signal on this journey, so if you do use your Google Maps or Waze or anything, I would totally download your route first just to make sure you don't get any stresses on the way. So yeah, we got to Velbert. Adi obviously had to have a beer and a sausage, and yeah, it was just about having a little nosy around really. I would point out maybe where we parked, but actually we totally just winged it, parked on a side street and hoped for the best. So I won't put anything here. We did really sort of just completely guess that one. It was just really nice to have a little tootle around really. It was just one of those things to kind of tick off the list. But yeah, a nice kind of quiet little town. And then we had this exciting journey to find this sodding Velbert sign. Adi went totally crazy. I mean, look at the Corby sign comparison. We are just lucking out. But yeah, he went crazy rogue to help me find that sign. So off we went. This was a really good stop that we found on the way. So this is one of those electric point charging stations that I found on PitchUp that I will link as well below. It had an amazing bakery. There was really lovely toilets that you could get to all night long. We got a pizza from the same place in the evening, and it was just epic. So for just a park for the night, they did have some electric points that you could use, but they would fill up, so we just parked in the corner. Totally recommend it. From here is around 40 minutes or so to get to Cologne, which was going to be our next stop for the day. That was a very shortened version of us getting to Cologne. And again, this was another park up that I found under a bridge, as you do. And then we actually just hired some scooters to get ourselves into the centre. But again, we'll link below. Really nice, easy way to park up, especially if you're in a camper van like ours that's a little bit taller. It was a bit of a damp day in Cologne, I've got to say. We did do a bus tour. It was so damp, I didn't even take any footage of it. Bit of an error on my part there. So after a walk around the cathedral, we came across the most incredibly German bar called Papa Joe's Beer Salon. It had some really mental life-size puppets that you are about to hear play some pretty kind of crazy music. Generally speaking, I found it a little unsettling, but the beer and copious amounts of cheese for me and pork knuckle for Adi did help us settle in somewhat. With bellies full, it was off for the last snack of the day, and Adi had heard of this place that had the best kartoffelpuffer, apparently. I still can't pronounce that word quite right. So he got his hot potato and applesauce fix, and it was off back to Woody for the final leg of the day. We wanted to get a little further down the Rhine for the next day, so landed on the campsite called the Golden Mile, which is really friendly, really lovely campsite that again I will link below. Really good night's sleep here, really good amenities and everything, so would definitely recommend. I had an amazing lie-in. A doesn't really speak that language, and then after a chill morning, it was setting off further down the Rhine. You get some really nice views actually as you're going along. We're kind of following the river along, and then it was just a short journey into Koblenz for us. The idea was that AD really wanted to watch the football, and we kind of thought, we'll find an Irish bar and he'll be set. But apparently, he was the only person that had that thought that day, so we didn't really luck out so much. We did find a really good car park that is just here in this little footage that I'll find a link for as well. So yeah, it was just a little pootle around again. Koblenz was really lovely. We kind of lucked out with the weather. We did stop and have a nice lunch here actually. A bit of an onslaught of wasps, which is very unseasonal and a bit off-putting. But yeah, really, really nice spot. So if you are in that kind of area, I'd say it was worth a stop. Yeah, definitely. So from here, it was off to Landstein, which was basically the last stop of the day, and really just looking for that classic twinning sign for us. So this was a spot that's twinned with Kettering, which is sort of the area that we both grew up in. So we just kind of thought it would be fun to try and find it. Again, Landstein looked very nice. We had a bit of a pootle around, nothing crazy. We'd Googled and seen that there was this sign that we were determined we were going to come across. And again, I think it was like on the outskirts, and we eventually found it. And AD did his classic, just sort of like basically pull a wheelie and then throw me out so I can take a bit of footage of it. So we got it. And again, they really do show us how to make a proper sign. The sign for Kettering, although marginally better than the one for Corby, is definitely not as fancy as the one in Landstein. We are not twinned with as many places either. But yeah, last stop of the day. And then, yeah, I will carry on our journey in the next video. But I hope you have enjoyed it again. And we shall see you at the next one. Bye!